Brisgel and David Solomon. Every Monday, Wednesday, Friday, noon Eastern. You think about it, we rant about it. Listen to us live on Facebook.
You know, I'm just so excited to, say hello. It is the beginning of a week, and I'd like to take a special moment to wish in advance David Solomon, whose birthday is tomorrow. No, today? I thought it was tomorrow. It's happy birthday, David.
Thank you,
Happy
Stuart.
birthday to you.
Spare the
Happy birthday.
listeners. Spare the listeners, my friend.
Spare the listeners. I mean, I sound like Harry Connick Jr. and look
Uh,
like Animal from the Muppet Show.
You
It's quite all
actually,
right.
if you sound like Harry Connick Jr.'s, maybe his piano tuner, but that's about it. So let's move.
All right, I'm sorry, guys. I got a little excited. It's David's birthday, but we're here to rant. And I'm not here to rant about David's birthday. I'm here to rant about colleges. David, I hear you've got an axe to pick with some colleges today.
Well, I got to tell you something, Stuart. I am so pissed off.
But it's your birthday.
Well, listen, I forget about my birthday.
Is this a birthday rant?
So, the fascinating thing about universities, it's supposed to be a place of higher education, right? The ability to learn, go beyond what you've done till now, so on and so forth. But what you find is that universities become an education in hate, an education in literally, none anything. And I am thankful, Stuart, by the way, thank you. And it's an area of which, you go to university and what you've discovered is really a slice of life. You're either with me or you're against me.
Yep.
Now, universities was once, as you heard, a healthy place for debate, education, opening your eyes, enlightenment. And what it's become is a position where that the professors are going down one track. The students must follow that track or they're alienated. And it's created a certain amount of hate. Now, here's the thing that I cannot believe, and just an example of hate. Israel is vilified on campuses all over the world, especially in the United States. And the professors are not doing anything to change what has happened is that if you are not pro-Palestinian, you are the enemy. Okay, that's what it comes down to. There's no understanding. There's no wish to understand. And the professors continue to spew this hate. Well, to show you to what extent it's become a shit show is Duke University, a pro-Israel group, was denied recognition by a student government, and the administration had to come in and rule over it. Why? Because this pro-Israel group wanted to present the facts. That's right, the facts. And of course, the student body said, they're not facts, it's propaganda. And the professors, of course, are smirking in the background going, we've achieved our goal. And I'll tell you something, it's not just when it comes up to a pro-Israel stance. I've had a similar situation where I've heard students who want to talk about something that the professor doesn't always agree with. To discuss and debate it, students are vilified, called out by other students. Students have been alienated. Professors refuse to write, job recommendations for them. Zero. You're either with me, Stuart, or you're against me.
Okay, David, but on that note, yes, students are given a rough ride and they've got to kiss ass, placate to these monsters that they call educators that are supposed to be all for the interests of our children. But the professors that also are on the right, they lose their tenure. Yep. They're vilified. They're tossed out of universities. There's a bunch of very famous news media personalities that are now refusing to send their children to any colleges that are left biased. They will not send their children there. It isn't going to happen. I got this debate as well about my kids. Would I let my kids go to an institution that is not going to teach the correct morals and values that I believe are right for my children? Well, I'm not a Marxist. I don't believe in Marxism. I don't believe in communism. I fled a socialist country that you reside and you call home, that you're about to get locked up yet again. The Commonwealth is locking down all over the world with the new COVID. And to be honest with you, I've had enough.
Yep. Yep. But this is what we're having here, Stuart. This is what's created here. We've created for ourselves a university system in which, again, it's one jaded view that's being taught. Yes, you're right, Risa. The consumer has the choice to opt out, but where are we going? If you need to get an education today, if you need a BCom or you need an MBA or you need something like that, where are you going? Because the
Well, this
school,
this is the massive, massive problem. There are still some top conservative schools that exist. There is one in Texas. There's one in, believe it or not, all over the country. There are top schools that are not Marxist left wing colleges yet. And you want to know something? I think the almighty electoral vote that is just fed up of this craziness, even in Oregon, I think that this bucket and junket has come to an end. I think that if the Republicans have the balls, if conservatives stay firm on their laurels once and for all, because they understand what this damage causes, I think that we will have a solution to this problem. And at the moment, it is disgusting and deplorable that these professors are allowed to practice, allowed to receive tenure, allowed to receive public funds and private funds from institutions of alma maters that are not left wing bodies.
and I think that's it. It just goes to show you how disgusting and how irritating this whole thing is. And what's happened is that we're creating students who are and I mean, look at what's happening as they leave university. They're not interested in debate. They're not interested in learning. They're interested in being told that their way is the right way. That's it. And you follow my path, and you could see this in political life. What has happened is either you're with me or you're against me. And the universities have created a place not of education, as I've said, but of pure, unadulterated hate.
So I got a rumor for you, which I think will be very interesting. We're all very familiar of George Soros's funding of
Yep.
DAs around the country, right?
Yep. Yep.
Heavily, heavily, heavily. Well, the rumor mill has, which is again not yet in the mainstream public, that he's also financing college professors who are the most left of left as another duplicit way on
It wouldn't.
breaching.
It wouldn't surprise me. It wouldn't surprise me, Stuart. It wouldn't surprise me that the professors are getting stipends or are getting stuff. Listen, I got to tell you something. What people don't realize, and I mean, I teach for it's for fun, but I teach MBA students, and
Well, there's
you
nothing
have
fun about
power.
teaching MBA students. That's
You
very,
have
I
no,
applaud
no,
you.
Stuart. No. Stuart, the point is when you stand in front of a classroom of students, you have power. You have power to manipulate, and you can create and you can embroil this hate. This is what is happening. This is where CRT is coming out of classrooms. This is where racism is coming out of. I mean, think about it. The same professor who spews out that we shouldn't be racists turns around and talks about how all white people are racist. The same people who talk about the fact that we should explore and there's always two sides to a story is very quick to judge Israel as guilty of
Hey,
everything.
you know
It
what? You know
comes
what?
from
You know
the
what?
same
I'm sick
mouth.
and tired of it. Hang on. All these naysayers that come out again. I haven't lived in Israel, David. I haven't been there as much as you, no question. But I want to ask anyone out there who has a common sense or a logical brain, what Arab nation could a gay person go to and not be
Well, no,
stoned?
but
What
Stuart, yeah,
country?
I
I mean,
agree
these
with you.
people
I
are
agree
just
with you.
crazy.
But that's the point, is that when you hear gay students against Israel, and I'm laughing my
I
ass
mean, are
off
they
going,
friggin' stupid or
really?
they're nuts?
Really? No, but this is what happened. And what happens at Duke University, and by the way, what people don't know is Duke University and University of North Carolina hosted a symposium that was the most blatantly anti-Israel, anti-Semitic symposium. They crapped all over Israel. It was a hate fest par excellence.
Hey, but,
It
but you
made
know, hang
it
on.
made
You
the
know, they just
it made
recently
hold on.
apologized.
It made the United Nations look like a bunch of softies, and the problem becomes that the schools love it. This is it. They're creating this disharmony to feed a liberal agenda that's almost like borderline ridiculously so hardcore left. And you know what, Risa? I don't know how much money comes from foreign students. Is it part of it? Because I don't think so. Because this is, I've seen this in professors in different parts of the world. It has nothing to do with foreign students. The problem is that the education system is going more and more and more to the left. It's more and more to, to the point where colonialism. I mean, like they say that. Listen, to crap all over the U.S. and Canada, call them colonialists. This is coming out of university professors' mouths. Okay, they're the ones who are pushing. David Suzuki. Okay, who, for those of you who don't know David Suzuki, a Canadian environmentalist, he threatened. He threatened they're going to blow up pipelines, right? Because either you're doing it my way or you're gone.
Well, you didn't have to blow up pipelines. They just elected Biden as president, and he blew up your pipeline.
But Stuart, the point is that it gets to these professors stand up, spew hate. The students. I mean, you know what? Dennis Prager, for those of you who are not familiar, Dennis Prager is a phenomenal guy. Phenomenal guy.
Very tall.
He's a very tall guy. I met him pre-COVID. Amazing guy. He is not allowed on campuses. Why? Because he actually debates fact. The other side is going to debate an emotion. They'll throw out anything that they want. Students are being told, as long as you conform to what we say, if it's against colonialists, it's fact. It's fine, even though it's not true. And the professors continue to push this agenda. And by the way, to show you to what extent, someone I know, I won't say whom, because she'll get into a lot of trouble, goes to a prestigious university. And when the professor was asking questions, she questioned the professor and was called out as being conservative. And the other students ripped her apart. Yep. In what world is that fair? I mean, you telling me that only liberalism is what works in this world?
Well, listen, they have lobbied and slowly, listen, there's a long game, there is a short game. And the left has really, really engaged in the long game. And the right refuses to make the hard calls and standing firm on the right decisions. And to be brutally honest with you, this is our own fault. This is our own making. I don't blame the leftist. I don't blame the Marxist. I blamed any centrist, any independent, and any right-wing voter. It's all your fault. And it's your fault and only your fault. It isn't the Marxist. It isn't the leftist. Remember that, David. We allowed this to happen.
But you know what? I've got to tell you, even a guy like Ben Shapiro, and I mean, this is the funniest story for me, to show you the hate that's on a university campus. Ben Shapiro is a conservative, has his own talk show, has his own, and shout out to Ben. We love you, man. You're great. And he's a modern Orthodox Jew. And he was called on university campuses a white supremacist. And he's going, it's ironic that you're calling me, a Jew, a white supremacist.
Well, because hang on. First of all, is a Jew white? Was a debate we had not so long ago.
No. What I'm saying is they blatantly called him. He couldn't come to a university campus because he's a white supremacist. And you're sitting there and you're going, for crying out loud, open your eyes. Don't just spew out bullshit. It's not reality. And that is where the universities have gone off the deep end. And you know what? I get it. Follow the money trail. I get a lot of these things. But you know what? It's unbelievable. It's unbelievable what these professors are doing. It's insulting what the students are allowed to get away with. Okay? They want to yell louder, they want to insult and whatever. And the fact that Duke University's administration had to go in, and look, we see the same thing at McGill. McGill has been trying, the student council has been trying to pass the BDS, resolution for years. And the administration keeps saying, no, you can't, it's done. And they keep trying to find loopholes. And it's fascinating because you don't understand, if you pass this resolution, what that means to your university, let alone to you. But it's a question of hate that goes unchallenged. And the professors and the universities have perpetuated this to such an extent, Stuart, that we are in trouble as a society. Quite frankly.
David, on that note,
we're done.
What time is it? We're
It
done.
looks like we're at the quarter hour. Ladies and gentlemen, the next time we'll see you will be the last month of the year. So we wish you all very well. Have yourself a great week.
And
We'll
it's
see you
happy
on
birthday, David. It's happy
and
birthday, David, all day long.
all day long. Have yourselves all a wonderful day. I'm going to shut off right now so that I don't have to hear it.